I was the bank in a household of women. When I stopped footing the bill, their world crumbled, then they lashed out, and now they're pleading for my return. They called it sisters only, until the invoices piled up. I paid. I provided. I kept quiet. Until one day, I cut the cord and watched my entire family unravel without me. Now they're begging me to come back, but I'm done being their cash machine with a heartbeat. Hey Reddit, ever been treated like a walking paycheck by your own kin? Yeah, me too. Except when the bills came due, I was the only man in a house full of women who labeled everything as ladies only. They left me out of dinners, outings, and celebrations, but never forgot me when the rent was overdue or something needed fixing. I stayed silent for years, pitching in and showing up until they pushed me too far. So I pulled the plug, and their whole universe fell apart. Here's how it all went down. I'm Nathan, 28, male, and my entire family, at least the part I'm in touch with, is female. My mom, 2 older sisters, Brielle and Megan, 31 and 33. My mom has 3 aunts, 2 of whom are sisters, and one's married. Basically, I grew up in a women's enclave, not the warm, welcoming kind. My dad bailed after a messy divorce when I was young, and we haven't heard from his side since. So yeah, I was the lone guy in a house where I was constantly hit with, "You're just like your father," jabs whenever I didn't toe the line. My mom had this knack, sweet one moment, ice cold the next if I didn't comply. A few years back, my mom and her sisters started these women-only weekends. It kicked off with a movie night, maybe Wonder Woman or something, and it was such a hit they made it a regular thing, every few weeks like clockwork. I didn't mind at first. I'm not one to stir drama or demand attention. I live on my own, have a solid job, my own place, and hobbies. If they wanted to sip mimosas and chat, fine by me. But then it snowballed. What started as a ladies' movie night turned into zoo trips, fancy dinners, spa days, bowling, even a baseball game. Seriously? Half those activities aren't even girly. Yet I never got an invite. Every time someone posted pics in the group chat or raved about their fun, I'd just toss a thumbs up emoji and move on. I tried to act unbothered. But I'm not some distant relative or random acquaintance. I'm their son, their brother, and the one who helps them the most. For years, I've been sending my mom cash every month to cover her bills. My younger aunt needed help with her car loan. I covered it. One of my sisters was out of work for 3 months. Guess who paid her rent? Me. I never threw it in their faces either. I was raised to support family, even when they're difficult, but they sure don't act like I matter. My sisters, though? They're treated like royalty. Every time one of them does something basic, like land a job or bake a casserole, the group chat lights up with, "So proud of you, queen," or "You're incredible, babe." I bought my mom a new dishwasher when hers broke last year, and she called it nice, like I was some neighbor doing her a favor. I know I sound resentful, but wouldn't you be? Picture being the only man in a family of women, doing everything to help because you're the guy, and still being treated like a fallback option. If I vanished, they'd only miss the cash. The weirdest part? They come off as so warm and supportive. That's their whole vibe. Sisterhood, women uplifting women, loyal to the end energy. But they built this little club where I'm only welcome on holidays, or when someone needs a ride to the airport. By year 2, it was clear, it's ladies only. They'd plan things right in front of me. I'd be in my mom's living room, hearing them talk about brunch plans or an upcoming getaway, and not once would they turn and say, "Hey, wanna join?" Not even a fake invite, just acting like I'm invisible. I tried joking about it once. I said, "Guess I need to wear a wig and change my name to join the crew." Silence. One aunt gave a half-hearted chuckle. My mom didn't even glance up from her phone. When I point out being left out, I'm either ignored or told I'm making it about me. That's exactly what they used to say to my dad before he walked out. So maybe I'm like him. What really got me was that I kept giving them the benefit of the doubt. I thought, maybe they don't realize how it feels. Maybe it's not intentional. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But after 2 years of the same nonsense, no invites, no appreciation, just treating me like a second-class family member, I stopped making excuses. It's not just being excluded. It's the attitude, the entitlement, the way they see me as a cash dispenser and a background figure. Yet they go all out for each other. When one of my sisters needed help redecorating her apartment, 3 of them showed up with paint rollers and mood boards. I offered to fix my mom's washing machine and she said, "Baby, leave it to the pros." Fine. I get it. So yeah, ladies only. Stopped being a cute theme. It became an excuse. A way to remind me I don't belong, that I'm not one of them, and never will be, which would be okay if they didn't lean on me whenever things went south. I didn't speak up right away. I bottled it up. But deep down, I knew something had to change. I was either going to endure this forever or call it what it was. Favoritism. Entitlement. Disrespect. And while I was raised to be the dependable one, even I have a breaking point. I hadn't hit it yet. But it was close. Come mid-January, I'm wrapping up work on a Saturday and realize I haven't heard anything about Aunt Cheryl's birthday. Usually, I'd get a flurry of texts with reservation details and fancy menu screenshots. But it's radio silence. Odd. I text my sister. No reply. I message my mom, and she responds hours later. "We already celebrated last weekend. Cheryl's heading out of town." No heads up. No. Invite. Nothing. I ask, "Wait, you already did her birthday dinner?" She says, "Yeah, just a small ladies' night." Here's the deal. It's not about the dinner. It's not the food. It's not even the aunt. It's the pattern. I'm being told, again, that I'm not needed there. They went to a restaurant downtown, one I showed them back in 2019. Funny how it's ladies only when they're enjoying the perks I introduced. This time, I didn't sit there wondering what I did wrong. I just thought, "You really think I'm expendable, don't you?" What stung more? I'd already bought her a gift. I took time to pick out a custom tea blend she'd mentioned in passing last fall. I remembered, bought it, wrapped it, wrote a card. I don't do things halfway. I believe in doing right by people, even if they don't notice. Dropped it off at her place like I was a delivery guy. No call, no hug, just a thanks text a day later. That's when it hit me. Not the dinner or the gift. It was realizing I'm an afterthought. I'm the guy they remember when the party's over. And only because I might bring something. I didn't rant, didn't argue, didn't guilt trip anyone. I knew what earned respect in this family. It's not effort or sacrifice. It's being part of their clique. The women's circle. If you don't fit, you don't get credit. No matter what you do behind the scenes. That's not celebrated. That doesn't get thank you texts. That's invisible. So when people ask why I didn't say something sooner, it's because I didn't want to seem petty. I let them have their ladies' nights, spa trips, and inside jokes. I wasn't trying to crash their party. But this isn't just ladies' time anymore. It's family time, minus the one guy they don't bother to include. That week, I made a decision. No more going above and beyond. I wasn't going to chase belonging or work so hard for something they wouldn't give me. Respect shouldn't be a prize for staying quiet and giving more. So I stepped back, not drastically, just started saying no more often. My aunt asked if I could fix her broken porch light. I said I was busy. My mom needed help with an insurance website. I told her to call the company. My sister asked for another loan this year. I said, not right now. You'd think I'd set their house on fire. Some got snippy. My mom sent a passive-aggressive text about money 2 days later. I didn't even reply. I realized they don't just expect my help. They feel entitled to it. They assume my time, money, and effort are theirs, but not my presence, my voice, or a seat at their table. I'm good enough to prop up the family, but not to be part of it. So no, I didn't care about the fancy dinner. I cared that I was always left out. I cared that they didn't even see it as wrong. And trust me, I already noticed them planning the next thing. Chatter about a summer trip was starting to pop up in the group chat. They called it a quick beach escape. Nothing major, but I knew where it was headed. Every March, the women in my family start buzzing about their annual beach trip. It's a ritual. A week-long rental. Everyone brings food. Some just pose for selfies pretending to cook. And of course, I do the heavy lifting, literally and financially. I've been covering the house deposit, and sometimes more because, apparently, being the dependable guy means being the family's personal bank. This year, though, it was quiet. The group chat was oddly silent. At first, I thought they were cutting back, but then I saw clues. Instagram posts with captions like, "Sun's out, bags packed," and "Vacation glow up," from my sisters, like they were prepping for a magazine shoot. My aunt even asked if I still had that big cooler. No mention of the actual trip, just vague hints. I didn't need a detective to figure it out. They were planning the beach trip. The same one I usually fund. The same one we all agreed last year was a great tradition. Only difference now, I didn't make the guest list. Here's where it gets crazy. Back in December, after Thanksgiving, I joked, "Guess I'll pay for the beach house again, so you don't end up in a hut with no Wi-Fi." They laughed like I was a comedian saying, "You're the best," and "We owe you." That was it. That was the whole planning discussion. And apparently, that was enough for them to move forward. I felt locked in as the silent sponsor, booking the house, picking the place, even putting my name on the reservation, but they never bothered to tell me they'd turned it into a ladies-only event. I caught the final clue from a comment one of my aunts left on my sister's post. "Can't wait for our beach week. Thank you again for securing the booking, Nathan." I swear, it was like a needle screeching across a vinyl in my head. So let me get this clear. They're planning a vacation without me, using my name, and had no intention of telling me until the payment went through. That's not family. That's coordinated theft in sandals. At that moment, I wasn't even mad. It was almost comical. Like watching kids try to rob a bank with markers and a fake ID, just clumsy enough to be brazen. I could have blown up the group chat, confronted everyone, and gone full scorched earth. But why bother? They don't hear me when I talk. They only notice when I act. So I did what any rational person would do. I logged into the booking site, canceled the pending reservation, and removed my credit card from the account. No heads up, just gone. The fraud hit fast. Within a day, the first wave of texts rolled in. They started soft and confused. "Hey, there's an issue with the payment." Then came the snarky jabs. "I thought you said you had it covered." My favorite was next. "We already told the kids we were going. This isn't right." Right. You're planning a trip behind my back, using my card, and excluding me because I don't fit your gender criteria, and you're preaching about what's right? But I didn't reply. Not because I was angry or trying to make a scene, but because silence speaks louder. They wanted to act like I didn't exist. Fine. I mirrored their energy, quietly and cleanly. Then, just to drive it home, I booked a mountain cabin for the same week. I wait with a few friends. No grand announcements or petty posts. Just a snapshot of us barbecuing on the deck, cracking up over something dumb, with a fire pit glowing in the background, peace in the air, and that real vacation vibe. The kind where no one expects you to bankroll the fun while standing outside the gate. Apparently, that single photo triggered a meltdown. I didn't see the group chat implode in real time because I had it muted, but a cousin sent me a screenshot later. Total chaos. They had no rental, no backup plan. Turns out, when you burn bridges with the guy who organizes and funds everything, the vacation ferry doesn't swoop in to save you. Still, I kept it smooth. No jabs, no. I told you so. They scrambled like a low-budget reality show cast trying to cobble together a trip with vibes and borrowed beach chairs, while I enjoyed quiet nights and s'mores in my cabin. Here's the wildest part. Not one of them apologized. Not a single one. They tried to spin it like I dropped the ball. Like it was my fault for not reminding them that using my name and card required my consent. At this point, their entitlement could win gold medals. They don't respect me, but they expect me to show up as their invisible financier for their parties. And when I don't, I'm suddenly the problem. No, they wanted a ladies' getaway. They got one, just not the luxury version they were used to, because that version needed me. So, after the whole trip fiasco, I didn't make a scene. I didn't send long texts explaining myself or drop dramatic lines in the group chat. I just stopped responding. No final showdown speech or storming off. I cut the connection like an electrician shutting off power to a crumbling house. Silent, final, and unbothered by what's still going on inside. For a bit, I almost thought they got the message. The group chat went quiet. No texts, no fake invites. Just pure stillness. It was like a family hearing a guard dog not bark when someone's at the door. It didn't feel peaceful. It felt heavy, like they were regrouping. Then came the couch test. My older sister sent a one-line email Monday morning. Can you help move my new couch upstairs? The delivery guys won't do stairs. No hello, no check-in. Just straight back to that entitled tone, like I'd hit pause instead of stop. I didn't answer. I read it while munching a breakfast taco and kept scrolling. Aunt Cheryl texted Tuesday with some, "Hey, sweetie," fluff and a request to help dispute a credit card charge. She said the website was tricky, and she didn't want to call anyone. I replied, "The number on the card still works." That was it. Wednesday morning, I got the call. Now, for context, my mom only calls when someone's dead or when she needs something too complex to text. So when her name popped up, I answered out of curiosity, not worry. She didn't waste a breath. "Your sister's car got totaled this morning," she blurted. "She's in the hospital. It's bad. They're saying she needs surgery. Her legs are really hurt. We're trying to raise money, but it's tight." No greeting, no build-up. Just straight to panic mode. I paused. Something felt off. For one, she didn't say which sister. No name, no hospital, not even her usual dramatic tone when she's rattled. So I asked flat, "Where is she?" "St. Thomas?" She answered too quickly. "They're not letting anyone in right now because of all the scans. They're strict about visitors." Still no name. I said I'd call the hospital myself. Her voice sharpened. No, don't do that. She's in and out. They won't confirm anything. It's too early." I didn't argue. I just said, "Okay," and hung up. Then I opened Instagram. I checked both my sister's pages. My older sister hadn't posted in a day, not unusual. But my younger sister had just shared a photo of a latte with her name misspelled on the cup, captioned, Baristas always get it wrong. Big smile, full makeup, cozy sweater. Not exactly the vibe of someone fresh out of surgery. I checked the timestamp. 7 minutes ago. If she was in a hospital, they must have started serving craft coffee with latte art. I leaned back in my chair, phone still in hand, and just stared at the screen. My own mother had fabricated a car crash, surgery, and a crisis to scam me. And what really hit me? She didn't even try hard. No fake sobs, no build-up, no emotional finesse. Just a lazy, heartless lie, like she was ordering takeout. That's how casual it had gotten. Weaponizing fake tragedies to milk me like an ATM that won't shut off. I didn't call anyone. I didn't reply to the texts. I just let it sit. The next morning, the group chat exploded with vague chatter. My mom sent a passive note. Thanks to everyone who stepped up yesterday. It reminds me why family matters. Translation. I didn't get what I wanted from him, but I'll pretend the scam worked. Then Cheryl chimed in. Some people just do more, and that's fine. I closed the app. I wasn't shocked anymore. I was done. This wasn't a mix-up. This wasn't me overreacting. This was a calculated, emotional con. My own mother faking an accident because my silence cut off their funding. I spent the next hour organizing screenshots. Every time they asked for cash, every last-minute desperate favor, every guilt-trip text I'd ignored. I saved them in a folder on my phone labeled Receipts, not to shame them later or send to anyone, but to remind myself how far they went when I stopped being their doormat. That silence, that peace, wasn't just satisfying. It was freedom. Then the final straw landed. Saturday night, my mom texted again. No big opener this time. No fake crisis, just, can you help with rent this month? Things are tough. Everyone's trying their best. I looked at it, then typed, everyone's best feels a lot like my worst. I sent it. Muted the chat. Didn't even wait for her reply. I blocked her number for the weekend to enjoy 48 hours of uninterrupted peace. I wasn't angry. I was just honest. The thing about cutting people off is the silence doesn't hit them right away. Consequences do. And when I stopped helping, I didn't leave a memo. No final warning. Just pulled the plug and walked away. The cracks took about 2 weeks to show. Then everything started collapsing fast. First in the fallout zone, Betrayal, my older sister, had been driving a car I'd co-signed for 2 years ago. Short version, she couldn't qualify for a loan. Begged me to, just put your name on it. Said she'd handle everything. And she did, for a while, until I quietly removed my name after the vacation stunt. I'd filed the paperwork a month ago. Gave her a heads up she ignored. I didn't push it. I just stepped back. Turns out, she was behind on payments. 3 months behind. The dealership repossessed the car in broad daylight, right outside her job. A coworker recorded the whole thing. She called my mom, sobbing like a grounded teen. Mom texted me, how could you do this to her? Do this to her? I didn't call the repo guy. I just stopped cleaning up her mess. That next weekend, I got a call from the utility company. My name was still on the account at Mom's house. Thought I'd transferred it to her. Guess not. She hadn't paid for 2 billing cycles. Balance was nearing $600. They were about to cut the power, so I paid. Kidding. I called, removed my name immediately, and let the system do its thing. That Monday, they were without electricity for 36 hours. Mom texted, wow, you really don't care anymore, do you? She was right. I didn't. Then came the balanced rent. Megan, my younger sister, was paying for a 2-bedroom apartment she shared with a roommate, but she'd been leaning on funds from the family pool to scrape by. The family pool? Yeah, that was basically me. When I stopped sending her money, she fell behind quick. Her roommate posted a shady rant on Facebook. Some people aren't ready for grown-up responsibilities. Real subtle. Megan was back at Mom's house in 3 days, crashing on the couch and blaming the toxic living situation. Guess the landlord didn't buy that excuse either. By week 3, Aunt Cheryl was selling furniture on Facebook Marketplace. That didn't shock me. What did was the description for a $90 used coffee table. Family going through hard times due to disloyalty. Please help if you can. Disloyalty. I nearly choked on my coffee reading that. For years, these people were so used to feeding off me that stopping the free ride felt like treason. Here's where it got twisted. Someone tried to open a credit card in my name. Not sure who, but they had some old mail. Probably enough for a week application. I got a fraud alert email. Flagged it, denied it, locked everything down. Didn't even confront anyone. Let them play dirty. All they did was expose themselves further. Next thing I know, Mom's bank account is frozen over an overdraft. She called my aunt, crying about canceling a dental procedure because not everyone is lucky enough to abandon family. The same woman who faked a car crash 2 weeks ago is now using cavities as moral blackmail. By mid-month, my cousin messaged me on the side. Just so you know, they're now trying to rope an Uncle Leon. I heard they told him I cut everyone off for no reason. That afternoon, Uncle Leon called, chuckling about it. He's not really kin. He's an old buddy of my dad's, who popped by occasionally, but had his own life and family. He's a decent guy, though. He said, "They're really framing you as the bad guy." I told him, "I don't care. Let them." Because here's the thing, when I stopped funding their circus, the whole thing collapsed. No trips, no rides, no bill payments, no insurance forms, no backup. They weren't mad that I changed. They were furious they had to. One day, Megan called me directly. First call in months. I let it go to voicemail. She texted after, "Can we at least talk about why you're acting this way? You used to help." Yeah, I did, when there was some semblance of mutual respect. Or at least the illusion of it. But after the lies, scams, and entitlement, my silence wasn't revenge. It was self-preservation. Then came the hospital incident. Not the fake one. This was real. And Cheryl slipped at work and broke her wrist. Needed minor surgery. Not a huge deal, but the deductible was steep. She sent me a long text about how no one else could pitch in right now. "I know you don't want to hear from us, but this is different." Different? When I sprained my wrist 4 years ago, I paid out of pocket and got no calls or support. They sent me a silly meme about how guys are terrible at resting. I left her text on read. That must have been the breaking point for them, because they lost it after that. Mom posted in the group chat, still muted on my end. "We don't need anyone's help. Some people just want to watch others fail when they're no longer useful." And Cheryl added below, "That's what happens when someone thinks cash equals character." They were trying to rewrite the story, painting themselves as victims of a cruel overlord who yanked away their free lunch. As if they hadn't spent years on cruise control, tossing me bills and expecting me to smile and pay. Then, the final touch. They tried contacting my employer. I'm not joking. Someone, probably Betrayal, sent an email to my company's general inbox claiming I'd abandoned my ailing mother, which was affecting her mental health and my focus at work. The email was so outlandish that HR forwarded it to me, asking if I was okay. I laughed, said, "Family nonsense," and they let it go. That was the day I changed my number. No big speech, no dramatic exit. Just done. Same city, job, apartment. But I severed every hook they used to reel me back in. This time, No more openings. It wasn't just ignoring them. They no longer existed to me. I didn't broadcast it. Let them keep texting into the void. Let them figure it out when their calls stopped connecting and their group chat rants went unanswered. For the first time in years, I wasn't on call. No late-night crisis. No pleas for bill money. No fake birthday guilt trips. Just a clean, quiet line where chaos used to be. Uncle Leon was the only one I still talked to. He'd check in now and then with updates, like a play-by-play of a game I'd stopped watching. Brielle's struggling with her commute, Megan's raiding Mom's pantry like a plague, and Cheryl's selling furniture so fast her living room looks like a crime scene. He asked if I was okay. I said I was better than ever. But deep down, I knew the quiet wouldn't last. This wasn't finished. I knew it wasn't over. You don't step away from a whole network of exploitation and expect them to just let you go. Leeches don't release their host that easily. // It was Saturday morning. I had the windows open, coffee brewing on the counter, and some blues humming softly from my speaker. After the year I'd had, it felt almost too calm. The air even smelled crisp. That rare stillness when everything feels perfectly aligned. Then came a knock. Not a friendly, "Hey, you around?" tap. This was a fist pounding on wood. Raw aggression. Someone trying to shatter the rhythm, not join it. I opened the door, and there was my mother. Not the version who used to make pies and offer stiff hugs. This was different. Hair messy, eyes locked on me like I'd pushed her off a cliff. Her mouth was moving before I could speak. "You really think this is how you treat family?" she barked. "You think you can just toss us all aside and act like we don't exist?" I blinked. No hello. No. "Can we talk?" Just straight accusations, as if I'd torched their house and left a note saying, "Good luck." I didn't answer right away. I just looked at her. Really looked. She seemed worn out. Not from work or age. Worn out like someone who'd spent weeks lying, scrambling, and blaming, and couldn't figure out why nothing worked anymore. Then I said, calm and steady, "You brought this on yourselves." No shouting. And that's what set her off. "You're just like your father," she hissed, like it was the ultimate jab. "Cold, selfish, spiteful. He ditched this family, and you're doing the same." I stood in the doorway, arms crossed, not budging. "Dad left because you treated him like garbage. I just caught on quicker." She swung an open hand at my face. Not hard enough to stagger me, but enough to make the music inside feel out of place. I didn't flinch. I just nodded slowly, like a puzzle had finally clicked. "That's all you've got left, huh?" I said. "When the guilt and lies stopped working, you went old school." She started pacing, ranting. Something about Megan having nowhere to go. Brielle's in debt because of me. Cheryl can't get her life together because she's too stressed. Then she pointed at the street and shouted, "You're sitting here in your little apartment, living your little life, while your family's sinking. You mean the family that used me like a credit card and excluded me from everything unless something needed paying?" I asked. She didn't answer. Instead, she grabbed the potted plant by my door, a tacky ceramic fern a coworker gave me, and hurled it down the stairs. Pottery shattered. Dirt scattered everywhere. I didn't even blink. "You think this makes you tough?" she yelled. "You think cutting everyone off makes you better? You're a coward. A selfish little coward, just like your father." Then she started grabbing things off my small patio table, tossing my coffee mug, knocking over the folding chair, scraping her keys across the railing's paint. I stepped back, pulled my phone from my pocket. Still calm, she kept shouting, "You'll regret this. You'll end up alone, just like him." Then she kicked a panel near my AC unit. It cracked. Not a huge crack, but enough to be pointless.